All right, man. Good stuff. So here we are, noontime here in Carbon County, Pennsylvania, right? For our friends out there in LA right now, obviously 9 o'clock, 9:01 in the morning for LA. So hi to Denny, hi to a few other people out in Los Angeles. Nevada, we always have Nevada. I think I got strippers there in Nevada. I mean, I don't know. It's 9 a.m. Who else would be listening other than strippers? You know? So a little shout out to the Bunny Ranch out there in Las Vegas, man. There you are. It's it's great to have you all on board here with us nationwide with a concentrated effort on where we grow up, where we live, where we raise our kids, and where some great entertainment, man, comes to town. And in this case, there's a show coming up this summer, and it is. It's an unbelievable and the premier Elton John tribute show, and on board here with us is Elton Rohn, and welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I'll tell you. So Elton Rohn, like where'd the Ron come from?
Okay, well, my real name is Ron, and my keyboard player is famous for having all these really funny little quips every time we're out at dinners and stuff. And he just says, well, why don't we just change our name? And when we first started, we were Ronnie and the Jets, and that kind of took us for a couple of years. And then our keyboard player said, why don't we just call ourselves Elton Ron, but spell it like Elton John, change it to an R. And we all had a good laugh over that, and it kind of caught on, so we changed it.
Yeah, that's funny.
That ever since.
I think when I think of that, listen, and this is you guys can, I'm sure, take a joke. It's like I hear Elton Ron, and I'm going, Elton Ron, pork fried rice, 15-minute. That's what I. Too fun, but and I was having fun with that yesterday with Leave It to Stever on the show. We were just going Elton Ron, 10-minute of Chinese pork fried rice, Elton Ron, but it's all fun. I'll tell you what, the website, you guys, wow, we got people, we got UPS drivers blowing the horn here on First Street, Main Street, and Lehighton. Everybody's listening to this show, and Elton, they're listening to you too. But listen, check this out. EltonRon.com, spelled as he said, ROHN. Your website is phenomenal, man. Love the website.
Thank you.
Love the website.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us, in August you're going to be coming to Penn's Peak, and Steve's, you're on. Coming to the Peak in August. What can people expect, man, if they have not seen you before?
Okay, here's what happens at one of our shows. Generally, the women are into it right off the top. Mm-hmm. And the guys are coming in and saying, okay, well, I'll check it out. They probably think we're going to come in and play some, Can You Feel the Love Tonight and some smelty stuff. We're going to take you right back to the 70s when Elton was in his prime. Mm-hmm. And what happens is by about the second song, everyone goes, oh, my God, they really sound like Elton John. And by about the third song, we have him. And then it's a big party, and everybody's into it. And at the end of the show, everyone comes up and says, oh, my God, I wasn't sure what to expect, but you guys are like the real thing. And we are pretty close. I have to admit, we're really close. When you close your eyes, you're going to think you're hearing Elton John. And we take it back to the 70s. We do everything in the original keys, all the harmonies, everything's live, no tracks, 100% live. It's a lot of fun, and the songs are fantastic to play.
They sure are.
So,
yeah, they sure are. Yeah, they sure are. And that's what I was going to ask you, if there's any, on a tribute act, if there's any backtracking. So no backtracking for you guys.
Not at all.
That's awesome.
Not at all. And I'll tell you, the biggest challenge we have is it's generally, if you look at Elton John's career, he has over 4 hours of hits. And those are just the hits. Then he's got all the album tracks. It's almost impossible to squeeze it into a show. So the biggest challenge for us is picking the repertoire. What we normally do with any city we go into is we ask the people there to request songs. So when we come in, we'll do the songs you want to hear. Mm-hmm. And it's worked really well. We get usually about a dozen emails per show of everybody asking. And we'll get the whole gamut of, can you play the hits, Benny and the Jets, right through to, can you play something off of like Tumbleweed Connection? It runs the whole gamut of his catalog. So we like to do that, but it's just fun.
I love it. Now, listen, if somebody, those of you who want to see Elton Ron, the North America's premier Elton John tribute show coming to the Peak a little later on this summer, if they wanted to go out already and throw out some requests or throw out some things that you can incorporate in the show, how should they do that? Should they do it right from the website? Should they do it from Facebook? How should they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of us a whole bunch of different ways. They can come to our website. There's a contact section there. They can come find us, come and like our page on Facebook. It's Elton Ron fan page. I communicate with everybody. The band, we're always on there. We talk to people. We've got T-shirts we give away. We have contests, and then that's generally where people will start to comment. Can you please play this song when you come to Chicago? Can you play this song when you come to LA? Or that's how it started, and we keep it up. We keep in touch with all of our fans there. So yeah, just come and find us on Facebook.
Yeah, that is so cool. And, you have to go in here. I mean, this is an incredible career, and what this Elton Ron premier, North America's premier tribute act is with Elton John music. And even going through the website, guys, again, Elton Ron, ROHN.com, get on there. You'll see pictures. I mean, you got some guys that have given you many kudos with what you're doing. I mean, I'm talking about even Nigel himself. I mean, you got people on your website and people that are backing you guys. That is pretty phenomenal, man.
Yeah, well, we played the Elton John Convention Expo down in Las Vegas a few years ago, and we met the band. Everyone was there but Elton, so I hung out with Davey Johnson and Nigel Olsen a lot. And I was really quite surprised that Davey was really familiar. It was explained to me that the band used to watch our videos backstage when they were in Vegas, but Davey called me over and he just said, "Geez, you do everything in the original keys." And he said he called us the best '70s Elton tribute show in the world.
Wow.
So it was really complimentary, and it's like to have someone like that behind you to tell you that what you're doing is really good. It kind of inspires us to just be the best we can be every day.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what. Like I said, guys, you got to check this out. I mean, in August, this premier Elton Ron tribute show, North America's premier event, is going to be quite awesome.
And we're coming in with a string section too, just to let you know. Everything is live, so we'll orchestrate it. We'll bring in a string quartet.
Jeez.
We don't have anything fake. It's everything you're going to see on stage is 100% played live, and it's going to be just like taking you back to a '70s, a combination of the '70s albums live in concert with the energy. That
is amazing, man. I love with some of your picks because back in the day, Elton would do that. I had the pleasure of hanging out and doing a Billy Joel, Elton John when they were teaming up together. Now that was certainly well after the '70s, but those two guys certainly incredible. But Elton in his own right, playing and getting on top of the piano, you do all that
for sure. I've been writing music for television for about 15 years, but before that, I was the director of Columbia Records for Sony Music Canada. So Billy Joel was one of my artists on the label. And I went on that tour. I went on the Elton Billy tour, and I watched a whole bunch of shows. So it's like I had no idea at the time that all these years later I'd be out there as Elton John.
Wow.
But that was one of the most phenomenal tours ever, those two guys.
Oh my God, I'll say it sure was. And again, what did you did what? Worked for TV up in? Is that where you're from, Canada?
Yeah, we're from Toronto. I write music up here for television. I've been doing it for about 15 years. That was my primary gig. And I was really happy. I mean, I'll just tell you the story. I used to work for the Sony Music Canada. I was director of Columbia Records, and my brother was the president of Sony. So we were here working up here during the glory years, Celine Dion and Amanda Marshall and Our Lady Peace and a whole bunch of acts that came through. Wow. And being Columbia, so I was taking care of like the Bruce Springsteen and Pink Floyd, Tony Bennett, and, Mariah Carey, all those type artists. And when the record industry thing ended for both, my brother ended up going to run Can West, which was a big media company, and I started writing music for television. And one day he called me up. He said, "Let's just go have some fun in a bar. Let's just go play the way we used to play as kids." And when we went to the bar, I'm a guitarist, so we were playing Beatles and Oasis and everything. And then one day the owner wanted us back. He said, "You guys are great. You got to come back next week." We didn't have enough songs, so we brought a piano. And I sat down and played Rocket Man for the first time. The place went crazy.
Jesus.
And I put the guitar back on, and about 20 minutes later, some guy yells out, "Play another Elton John song." And that's how it started. We just started to play more and more Elton John. Next thing you know, we did a whole night of Elton John, and I'm playing festivals.
Jesus. It's
That's how it
crazy.
started. Just kind of a fluke, actually. But I mean, I look like him, I sound like him, and I play the piano like him. Those are the three things you have to do well.
Yeah, and and now knowing the connections that you had with Sony, you know what? I don't know, Steber's my guy that just hangs out behind the scenes. Now I sound like a real ass because I said Elton Run, but fried rice. Now I feel like an idiot. I feel like an idiot.
I told you don't go.
I know. He told me, he goes, don't go down that road. It's like,
You need to get a second opinion.
That's awesome, though, man. I mean, and like I said, all in fun, man. It's just all candid and sitting around, cracking back a couple of beers and busting balls, man. But and all about fun, all about fun.
You guys are fun. You guys
Man.
are fun.
It's
I do a lot of these interview things. You guys are hilarious.
oh my God. You know what? Half the people that do these radio things, they're asshats. They think they're funny. They're not even funny. I'm funny. Listen, you got to turn me on into Canada. You got to get your people hooked up to this show in Canada. That's what you need to do, man. Everything about Colossal Radio and the.
But you're available up here. I mean, we can put your link on our webpage. Everyone can listen to you.
Let's do it, man. Do it up. Listen. I am one of the biggest Elton John. I love Elton John. I go back. There is. I know his real name. And what he was, his birth name, and he was back in the day. How
many shows have you seen
on Elton John? 2.
Yeah,
only 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some people come to our show who have seen Elton John over 60 times.
Wow.
They show up in glasses and outfits. You wait till you come to one of our shows. Hopefully, it'll happen in PA there. But everywhere we go, people come up to me and say, I saw him in the UK 5 times, and I came in, and now I live in New York, and I saw him 4 times here. It's just crazy. The fans, they're everywhere.
That is that. I'll tell you, the music and the writing ability that they had together was incredible. They had incredible.
They had 7 number 1 albums in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
How crazy is that?
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's a lot of work,
And one was a double. One was Goodbye Old Brick Road, a double album.
Yeah. Have you ever had the opportunity to meet him or talk to Elton himself?
Well, here's the thing, because when I started working in the record business, my first boss, before I went to Sony, I was at Warner Brother Records, and my first boss was a friend of Elton, so we used to chat about it all the time, and we went to see him a couple of times. One time it was in Toronto, a famous concert. It was pouring rain, so he was delayed coming into the airport. The flights were delayed a couple of hours, and the show still stayed on, so we never got a chance to meet him before the show. So as he got out of the limousine, I was probably no more than 10 or 15 feet from him. He said he recognized my boss, whose name was Herb. He said, Herb, I'll see you right after the show. And then after the show, we're all there waiting for him in the tent, and he basically jumped in the limo, and they drove him right out of the stadium to the airport. He took off. So I've been within a few feet of him. I've seen him live by sitting a couple of feet from him playing, but I've never had a conversation with him. I've talked with the rest of his band, Davey and Nigel, and I know they know about it. Mm-hmm. But no, I haven't come face to face with him yet. I'm sure one day it'll happen.
Yeah, no, for real. Are you able to hang out a little bit? Here with us at that we can dive in a little bit further because I'd like to do maybe an Elton John song. Maybe you did this one once or twice in all these shows, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shows and festivals all across this nation and world for that matter. I don't know. Have you ever heard Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting? Have you ever done that one?
A few times.
Let's do this. Listen, more with Elton Rohn coming to the Peak, Penn's Peak in August, man. Let's do this song. Hang on a second, man. All right, this is a good one. This is a great interview with this guy here, man. How cool is this show gonna be, man? How cool is this show gonna be? We'll be back. Stick around, kids. Elton John, Saturday Night's All Right, man. And we are on the phone right now with Elton Rohn, North America's premier and that good Elton John tribute act that's coming to Penn's Peak in August. And I'll tell you, we were talking a little bit off mic and off air and back into it here. You grew up, which I didn't know. I had some questions here. I usually don't hold to the questions. I kind of like just am very casual and let it rip. But you literally grew up in the music industry.
Yeah, absolutely. My father was with CBS Records Canada for over 30 years. So from the day we were born, we had music in the house, and of course he would bring home every single piece of music that came out, and we'd have the artists would come over to our house. There was many nights where I would, my dad would show up at home, and next thing you know, I'm having dinner with someone that his name is Bobby Vinton, and I didn't really know who he was. Then the next night we would go to the Canadian National Exhibition in Toronto, had a big outdoor concert series, and we'd see Bobby Vinton sell out the C&E, and he'd be singing the next night. And we had dinner with him the day before, or Johnny Cash was at our house, or whoever it would be, and it was just years and years. My dad introduced me to Bruce Springsteen when I was like just a teenager. So he introduced me to Billy Joel, all of the music that would come to formulate my life and everything that I wanted to be. He was the first one to bring me home Elton John album. Elton wasn't on CBS, but he liked it, so he brought it home and let me hear it, and that's what sold me on Elton. That's how I got hooked. So my dad really introduced me to so much stuff in the music industry, and then afterwards my brother and I both went into the record industry. My brother started at Capital EMI, and I started at Warner Brothers, and we ended up going over to CBS, which turned into Sony Music. And my brother became the president of Sony Music Canada, and I was director of Columbia Records.
Wow.
So we've had like one of those, knock on wood, we had such a fantastic life. Our whole life has been music. I feel like I haven't really worked much in my life. It's all been fun.
It's all about the groundwork, and it's all about choices that you make, and even that your parents set forth. And I talk about that all the time. It's all about choices, and what you really love to do. And if you're not doing what you love to do, then you ought to be, and that's really what it comes down to. It comes down to choices, doing what you love and loving what you do. And
life is too short, man. Life is too short. You want to enjoy what you're going to do. Why would you want to go to work and be miserable all the time? You want to do something you like.
Yeah, man. No, totally agree. Elton Rohn, North America's premier Elton John tribute, coming to Penn's Peak. I'll tell you what, I'm telling you now, guys, get to this website and check it out. EltonRohn.com. That's ROHN. Just drop the J. And we have a Facebook page. We were talking about doing some fun with a Facebook page. I don't know. I mean, we were kind of like just winging it with Stieber, myself, and Elton. What do we want to do with a Facebook page? What do we want to do?
Well, here's what we've done at some of our shows. First of all, thank everybody for emailing us all the time and putting in all the requests and all that. But we've been having fun. We go to a show, we say, okay, anybody who comes to our Facebook page and likes our Facebook page, Elton Ron fan page, we're going to take all those names, we're going to draw some names, and we're going to give away some T-shirts. So I will eat the cost of mailing them out and sending them out to everybody. I can't give one to everybody, but we'll draw a whole bunch of names. Let's just put it that way. I'll probably pick a dozen names. Depends how many likes we get. But let's see how many people out there want to come and do that if they want an Elton Ron T-shirt. It's a fun thing we do. We like to give everything away for free.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll do that. We'll post that after the interview. This interview will be up on our YouTube channel.
It'll be up later this evening.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So we'll have that. We'll have this interview up on the YouTube channel.
I can't wait to play Penn's Peak. Can't wait to play it. I mean, we just played Atlantic City, and we were driving home, and when we hit Jim Thorpe, I said, wait a minute, Penn's Peak is here in Jim Thorpe. So we pulled off the highway, and we went to Roadie's for lunch. And I looked at the venue and I said, I can't wait to play this place. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
It is, I'm no longer there, which is certainly not a secret, and it's okay. It's a tremendous venue. I mean, the acoustics in there are incredible. I mean, Dustin actually, who does sound, him and his wife, who you will meet, he's my cousin. Dustin's my cousin. He's great guy, been around the whole music scene too, like all of us, myself included, forever. And he's a cool cat, man. He knows his stuff. And like I said, you'll love it. This tribute act, Elton John premier tribute show, coming to the Peak in August. And I'd get your tickets early. I don't think there's going to be a seat in the house on this one right here, man. So I would get there. It is some great stuff. I mean, is there any one moment that stands out for you over this career doing the Elton John music that stands out more than another?
Well, I'll tell you what it is. I don't know that I could point to one particular show. But I think in general it happens every show. There's always at least one or two moments where I can look out, and for that brief moment, I can understand what it's like to be Elton John. where I see a sea of people all singing the song with me.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's Candle in the Wind when all the lighters or the cell phones get up and all the lights start. You start to feel something bigger than the moment, and it's everybody's love of Elton John. So I mean, I'm the luckiest guy in the world that gets to go to all these cities in North America, and we just spread the love.
Yeah.
We go out there, we start playing these Elton songs, and the crowd, they are so receptive to the music. It's like it's a love of the song, and as long as we can do it well, which I think we can. The audience, they show this feedback immediately. And I'll tell you one thing about American audiences: they're fantastic. They're energetic. They get right into the show right from the very first song. We love coming down and playing for the American audience.
Yeah, it is cool. I have some folks that have ties to Toronto in Canada. I don't know. Could you hook us up if we get to Toronto or Ontario when we come up there? Could you hook us up with a show when you're playing a show if we combine it all? Could you get me front row seats?
What, for one of my shows? That's easy.
All right.
You want someone else's shows?
No.
Have you seen the price of concert tickets lately?
I did. No. I want one of your shows. Are you kidding me, man? I want one of your shows. I want one of your shows, and then we go to the after party afterwards, man, and just hang out for a while, man. I mean, I'm in. And like I said, so that's where you call home. Then you're up in Toronto.
We're all out of Toronto, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This, I could go on and on with this interview, and I told you that, and I don't normally just say that. This was incredibly good. Your career on the music end, those of you that heard this, is long-standing. And now that it morphed into this almost because of a chance happening is pretty incredible. I mean, I can say my career was the same way to some degree. I kid about it and I have fun about it, but it really wasn't a planned course. It kind of just happened, and I've been very well blessed, not only with the response that I've had with this radio station in a little over 2 months, which has been incredible from those of you now that are listening and hanging out with the show. It is real. It's not cookie cutter corporate kind of radio anymore. No disrespect there at all, but you know yourself that things have certainly changed in that world. This is real, man. What I got going on here is real. There's no one day that's the same, and I like it that way. I like it that way.
Great. Sounds fantastic.
But this, like I said, I can go on and on with you all day. This, you got to get to this website, Elton Rohn. Drop the J. That's ROHN. Elton Rohn tribute. You'll see it at eltonron.com. Find him on the Elton Rohn fan page. We will have this posted and uploaded on our YouTube channel, and we'll share the link with you right away. And I'll tell you, man, this has been cool. I'd like stay in touch if you can, or
absolutely.
Through your people, through my booking agent, through Dave. Stay in touch, man, because as you get closer with this thing in August, I would love to do something again with you somewhere in July or the beginning of August for
let's do it
for a push. Yeah, man. So whatever it takes, I'm here to help on any level. But this has been absolutely awesome, and I'll touch base with you. As a matter of fact, you know what? Don't hang up. Let me do another Elton John song. Don't hang up, and let me just say our goodbyes right here off air. Can I do that?
Sure.
All right, hang on one second. Let's do one more for you. And oh man, it's a pick. Where do I go, Stever? Where do I go with one? How about they are all good. How about Honky Cat, man? Let's do this one right here. Let's do a little Honky Cat. Elton Rohn tribute coming to the Peak in August. I'm quite certain, man. I'm quite certain this is one you're not going to want to miss. We'll be back. Stick around.